My name is Joanne Boncher. I'm a retired special education teacher. I retired in 2000. However, I'm still working. The reason I'm working is because I'm involved with the Oasis Tutoring program, which is an absolutely wonderful program for children out in the schools that are struggling, trying to learn how to read and write and be part of the curriculum. I first learned about the Oasis Tutoring program in 1991 when I was a curriculum resource teacher, and we put it into our district, and I trained tutors and worked with teachers, and we monitored kids. And what we found is these little students ended up making fabulous progress in a short amount of time. The students that are involved in the Oasis program are little guys who would not be picked up any other way because they don't receive special education and they'd fall through the cracks. Working with the tutors and the teachers with this program is so wonderful because it works like magic. And Carol, I think you'd agree that it's like magic.
Yes.
This is Carol Hare. Carol, tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay. I'm a retired registered nurse and nurse practitioner. I retired in 2017 after a 43-year career in nursing. And the majority of that was spent as a geriatric and adult nurse practitioner. And as I retired, I wanted to look at some volunteer opportunities and also do some things that were completely different and out of the realm of healthcare. And so I began to take some of the classes that Oasis offers for older adults, and things like cooking and history classes and travel classes and just things that were fun and didn't involve academic credits and writing papers or anything that would be too onerous. And I learned about the Oasis tutoring program, and I was looking for opportunities for some volunteer activity. And working with the elementary school children and reading was appealing and something quite different for me. So I met Joanne when I attended a orientation that lasted part of 2 days for Oasis tutors. And maybe she can tell us a little bit more about the orientation program, but that's the start.
The wonderful thing about Oasis is being able to work with people like Carol. Our tutors come from all walks of life. They've been teachers, they've been engineers, they've been lawyers. It's everybody, and that's what makes the program so valuable to the kids, is they are learning and meeting and getting to be friends with people from all walks of life that they may never have met before. The orientation program is just a time when we give the tutors an idea of what it involves to tutor students and a little bit of how it works. The value of this program is that these little guys are seeing the tutors once a week, and they're one-on-one. They're forming a relationship with the tutors that's personal, and the tutors become almost like a member of their family. They're in a session with these tutors, and it's safe, and they can risk trying new things without worrying about not doing it right. And that's what makes this program so awesome, is these tutors are all so nurturing and caring, and the kids know that. The things they do in the tutoring sessions are like fun games, but they're all reflected back in the classroom. So the students are learning and practicing things that they do when they get back in the classroom. Would you agree, Carol? Tell a little bit about the kinds of things you do when you're tutoring.
Well, when I'm tutoring, the first thing you have to do is get to know your student. Excuse me. And I've had first grade students, and so these are new readers who really are excited. They soak up information like sponges.
Yes.
They it's interesting that you sometimes wonder, why did the teachers select students that they think would need some additional help? And it may not be strictly the reading skills.
Exactly.
One student that I worked with had some attention issues. And so I learned that we had to do activities that were quite short and move from one activity to another. We would read a story, then we would spend some time maybe drawing a picture in our journal that Oasis provides us with, so that the student could pick a part of the story they liked the best and draw a picture of it. There was one student I had who just loved costumes and clothes, and if there was a princess in the story, she would be drawing the princess, and she was really quite artistic. But even that, we get a little, now what's next? And so in addition to reading and maybe writing a few sentence story about what we've read, and perhaps illustrating an aspect of the story, we worked on word games and puzzles. And one of my students never had done a crossword puzzle, didn't know what that was. And so, again, Joanne, as the coordinator for our tutors, was instrumental in providing some wonderful word games and puzzles that were simple, maybe 4 or 5 words, and the student just loved those. Every time she'd say, "Did you bring a new puzzle?" So, it's a good way to learn vocabulary and spelling, and again, that is associated with reading. Exactly. So the games and the puzzles and the word finding ones, where the words are upside down and crosswise and horizontal, were another popular one.
I want to hook a little bit onto what Carol said about the students that she had. The teachers refer students that have multiple problems other than just reading and writing. As Carol said, sometimes they have attention problems. There may be other students that really have self-esteem issues and are unable to function in the classroom because they're afraid they're going to do it wrong, so they don't do it. There's also those little shy kids that never raise their hand in the classroom, and they don't take part in any of the discussions. So these are all the kinds of students that will be put into the Oasis program. And the wonderful thing is they all make progress. They all are up to speed by the end of the year. And that's the thing that is so exciting about this program, is the wonderful people like Carol that are involved with the students, but also the fact that these little guys are going to come out feeling better about their education than they did when they went in. And also the teachers, because of the progress of their students, the teachers love the program, love the tutors, and we can never get enough tutors to fill all the spots. And it's just such an honor to work with people like Carol and with a program that is so darn good that you know that it's going to be okay. And the thing that's so wonderful is that the tutors that come in, when they're doing the training, they're kind of like, oh, I don't know whether I'm going to know how to do this. And then they go out and they become a teacher. And when they see their students making progress, you watch them, and it's just, there's so many parts of this program that are awesome. And that's one of them, is working with these wonderful volunteers like Carol, and then watching the progress of the kids. Carol, talk a little bit about why you tutor. What do you get out of it?
Well, I just really enjoy meeting these eager young students who are, they, as I said, they're like sponges. They once they meet you, I think they're a little shy the first time, that you're going to be, and they're thinking, who is this person, and are they going to, how are they going to interact with me? And when they find out that we're reading fun books, and when you get to know them, you look for books that are of interest to them. If they like dogs, if they like butterflies, if they like happy stories, if they like dogs, you find out about their pets, you find out how many siblings they have, you find out, what kinds of games do they like to play, and then you find these books, and so they're really eager, and usually I would bring 2 or 3 books with me and say, now, what would you like to read today? So they get to pick. So that's a big part of it. And they see you as more of a friend. Often as I would go to the classroom, they're eager to run and, come up and in our school, we would meet at the library resource center. And so, the student I'd meet them at recess, and they're ready to leave recess and go and read. So that's, that this is something that they're happy to be doing.
Absolutely. The tutors become like part of these little kids' families, and they become a significant other in their life. The tutor feels that way about the child, and the child feels that way about the tutor, and that's the power of this program, is the interaction between these 2 age groups. That's why it's intergenerational. So if you're thinking about doing an activity where you're going to stretch and learn, and where you're going to try new things, where you're going to give back to the community, and where you're going to teach a kid how to read so that he can make his life better, then think about the Oasis program, because it is so worth every minute that you spend for you, for the student, for the teachers. It's just awesome. So think about it. It's Oasis Intergenerational Tutoring with the Oasis Institute. Thank you.